Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with another video. Now in today's video we are going to look at a couple of products from Olight. Olight absolutely being one of my go-to flashlight companies. And in today's video we are going to look at the Oclip and the Oclip Pro. Both of these fantastic offerings, very cool, lightweight, simple EDC style flashlights, small, compact, but all in all, high quality, nice beam output, and some differences between the two. So in today's video, we are going to do a comparison side by side. I'll show you these in detail so you can compare and contrast. But with that said, I have a whole bunch to do and a whole bunch to share with you. And if you're interested in seeing a little bit more about what I'm about to get into, do me a favor, stay tuned. Now, before we get too far, I would like to say thank you very much to the people at Olight who did provide these for review. Now, as we get into this here, the Oclip and the Oclip Pro. Again, similar in concept, but different in terms of the overall features. Now, as we go through this, Olight has had a number of awesome, smaller EDC products in the past, some larger, of course, but their small EDC flashlights always perform, especially given their overall small size and nature. And so as we take a look at the Oclip, a couple of different color offerings here. This one here in green, this one here in black. We'll take a look at the green here and get into the details. Now, going through these specifications, high, medium, low, and moonlight modes. The moonlight 1.5 lumens, low 10 lumens, medium 100 lumens, and the high starting at 300 lumens and then bumping down to 180 lumens. In terms of the runtime, 30 hours on moonlight, 12 hours on low, 90 minutes on medium, and then you get a minute on the 300 lumen high output, and then about 60 minutes on that 180 lumen output. There is a red light, so 4 lumens on the red light, and about 5 hours of runtime. Max throw 70 meters, max candela 1300, and then this is a very small, compact unit. So as we break this out, fairly standard in terms of the Olight packaging, but you can see here just how incredibly small this Oclip truly is. An incredibly small, just tight little package, but here is the clip part of the Oclip. That is awesome. This could be used in many, many different, very clever ways, and the fact that this is just a clip makes this extremely practical and versatile. This is going to be a fun little light, and I love the green. For me, this is perfect. I have a lot of tactical gear, tactically inspired gear, sort of that camo look, and so the green's going to blend in nicely. I love the anodized, just really nicely done. On the side here, you have your USB charging port, which this is USB Type-C rechargeable, which is obviously the standard these days. Going through the rest of the packaging, your manual, and this does come with a small USB Type-C cable. Power button on the side, long pressing here, that turns on the light. And so now to the function with the light off, a long press, that will come on in the moonlight mode, 1.5 lumens. This should run around 30 hours. Now at this point, we can cycle between the 3 primary modes being the low, medium, and high. Long press here, low, medium, high, low, medium, high. The low mode. This here is 10 lumens. This will run for around 12 hours. So again, that is the low mode. Another long press, this will be the medium mode. So medium 100 lumens, that will run for around 90 minutes. Another long press, the high mode, 300 lumens. This will run for about a minute and then dim down to what they're saying around 2/3 of the power for around 60 minutes. Quick double press here. Again, back into that red mode. The red 4 lumens. This will run for around 5 hours. Quick double press, it comes back in the mode that you were in. So let's just say I was in the medium mode, double press to the red, double press, comes back into that medium mode. Single press, turning the light off. Turning it back on, again, that memory mode coming back in the medium. Triple press here, that goes into the strobe. And you'll see here that pattern is pretty much a straight pattern. Another triple press here, that now into that beacon mode. So the beacon, when it flashes, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, about 3 seconds in between each flash. Another triple press back into that strobe, and single pressing coming back out of it. So functionally, very simple, nice, clean, very effective little light. Now getting into the Oclip Pro, you can see they do offer the limited edition Christmas version right now, which is pretty cool. It's actually really neat. We're going to take a closer look here at the orange, which for me is, again, just about the perfect color for camping, if you don't want to lose it, for general visibility to the light. But I think we're going to find that this is a significantly larger light overall, but at the same time still very compact. The same clip nature, which is awesome. And you'll see on the side this has a switch. I'm already leaning on the buttons here. So a different button, slightly nicer mechanism, 3 LEDs on the front, beautiful housing, nicely anodized, cool little door here. You can see that's a nice feature, a little hinged door, very convenient. That seems to work extremely well. Your user's manual and USB Type-C charging cable. But the Oclip Pro here, very cool. So you have a switch on the side, which you can see this indication just lights up green right there. That's going to be the upper left LED. Then in the middle, that's the bottom. And then to the right, so that's going to be the upper right. So very cool in terms of your ability to switch between the LEDs, long pressing between the modes. So you can see here the 3 different modes on that primary LED. Now again, to be clear, the left switch is the floodlight. So you can see here that floodlight is the top left LED. The middle switch is the spotlight. That's your main primary LED. And then all the way to the right, that is your red light. So as we go all the way back to the left again, this is going to be your floodlight. So a long press here, going between the modes. Now I'm going to turn the light entirely off. From the off position and turning the light on with the floodlight, this here is your moonlight mode 1 lumen. And this will run for around 6 days. Now we long press, again, low, medium, high, low, medium, high. The low mode being 10 lumens, this will run for around 27 hours. Long press medium. Medium is 100 lumens for around 3.5 hours. Long press high. The high 300 lumens. This will run for around 1 minute and then dim down to about 2/3 power for 100 minutes and then dim down to roughly about 1/3 power for 10 minutes. Double press here is the turbo. Turbo 500 lumens. That will run for around a minute and then dim down to 2/3 power for around 50 minutes and then dim down to about 20% for another 30 minutes. Single press, and that's off. Switching now to the middle, which is the spotlight mode. Long pressing here. And you can see as that comes on, the first mode going to be in the spotlight. That is your moonlight. 1 lumen, which will run for around 6 days. Long press here. So the long press as we go low, medium, high, low, medium, high. The low mode. And you can see how tight that beam is now. Again, that spotlight definitely tightening up that beam right on the palm of my hands. But the low being 9 lumens, this will run for around 27 hours. Long press medium, 85 lumens for around 3.5 hours. Long press high. High will run for about 1 minute at 240 lumens. Then it will dim down to around 2/3 power for 100 minutes. then down to around 1/3 power for 10 minutes. Double press here into turbo, 380 lumens for around 1 minute. Then it will dim down to about 2/3 power for 50 minutes, and then 20% for around 30 minutes. Single press, and that light turns off. And now with the switch in the right hand position, this is the red light. So as I turn the light on here, you can see it's blinking. Quick double press, that makes it solid. Now with the light either on or off, the double press is putting that to the high mode. So the high mode, that is going to be your 40 lumen output on the red. That's just a little confusing. To me, I would prefer the long press to get you between the low and high output, just the same as all of the other light outputs and LEDs. But to me, that's just a little bit backwards in the programming. I would prefer the double press to get you into that more beacon mode, and the actual long press to get you between the low and high, but that's not how this operates. In fact, it's the opposite. With the light on, a long press is getting you between the low mode and the blinking mode, and the double press is turning it to high. So in my opinion, a little bit backwards on that programming, but to each their own. There are some people that might like that. Now just getting some beam shots with the Oclip here. As I long press, this is coming on in that moonlight mode. Now it's not going to beam off terribly far into the distance, but you can see it's definitely doing it. Getting a little bit of projection to the far wall. It's certainly going to work very well for things that are up close. Now as I long press here, going through the modes, long press, low, medium, high, low, medium, high. So here's the low mode. Doing a much better job at projecting off into the distance. You can see starting to illuminate all the things on my wall. You can start to make out some detail. Medium here doing a nice job, so no problem. You can see that centralized hotspot and the spill off to the sides. So as you see that hotspot dancing around, but that hotspot definitely, the primary light, but you get some good light off to the sides. Long press here. That's going to be that high mode, really lighting everything up. Quick double press. Here's that red light. Again, enough to start to see, but it's really better for close up and not killing your night vision. Quick triple press. Now this is left in that beacon mode. You can see very bright, almost disorienting in a way, but that's going to work out well for joggers, runners, people on bikes. You could put this, in an emergency situation in a way that, people could see it from a helicopter or off in the distance. Now the triple press here, this is that strobe. So you can see the strobe again, disorienting. So depending on what you're trying to do or what your objectives are, you could use this on the side of a road if you were stuck in a car or something like that and on the side of the road and wanted to get people's attention, changing a tire or whatever. I mean, that's blinding. You'd have to be fairly careful, but you could certainly do it. And I would say that beacon mode definitely doing a nice job. Quick little double press there, single press, off. Now as we get into the Pro, this is really going to give you a good example of the beam pattern. So a long press here. Again, this is going to come on in that moonlight mode, and I have the switch all the way to the left. So at this point, spreading out that beam, flooding it out nice and wide. But if I take that switch and flip it to the middle, you can clearly see at this point from wide to tight. And the wide beam on moonlight, barely reaching out. You can't see much in the distance, but if I tighten up that beam, it's actually projecting all the way to the back wall, even in that moonlight mode. But as we continue through the floodlight, long press here, low, medium, high, low. So the low, doing a nice job casting off. You can see even beam, nice and wide. Medium, really starting to light everything up. High, no problem, tons of light. The ability to see with ease. Double press, That's that turbo lighting everything up. Triple press, that's going into that beacon mode. So again here, that beacon, another triple press, and that's that strobe. So here, the strobe. Single pattern, it is not oscillating, but that gives you a good indication. Single press off. Now selecting the middle switch, long press here. Again, moonlight, long press, low. So the low mode, really tightening up that beam. Not a ton in the way of flood or spill off to the side, but that's why you have multiple LEDs. Doing a nice job beaming off in the distance, lighting things up. Can see very easily anything off in the distance, even in that low mode. Medium doing a wonderful job projecting. Tons of light, really solid beam. This is also going to have a great battery life overall. Long press high, starting to really light everything up, projecting way off into the distance. A really strong hot spot. Double press here, turbo. This will go well off into the distance. Full beam range, excellent. Triple press here. That's that beacon. And the beacon in this mode is going to project way off into the distance. So if you were in the mountains or a long, vast area and needed to signal for help, this would certainly help with that, which is awesome. I love the fact that this works in the beacon in both the flood and in the spotlight. Triple press here. That's that strobe mode. Very disorienting, very bright, and just beaming that light straight on. Switching now to the right-hand selection, this is going to be that red. So a long press here, turning on the red. Again, enough light that you can see into the distance. Great for a close-up reading, not killing your night vision. This is where that double press is going between the low and the high mode. Again, I wish that was a long press, but it's not. That's a ton of light. If you really look at how much light there is there, you can see everything in this room, no problem, yet you're not killing your night vision. That's awesome. And this is where the long press is now going more into that kind of flashing mode, which this to me is the perfect opportunity if you were like pulled over on the side of the road and changing that tire. This to me is exactly where you'd go with that. This would be perfect to signal for help or make people aware that you're on the side of the road. Put it on the back of your dog while you're, walking at night. Put it on the back of your, pants or, on the back of your bike if you're out riding. So this to me is just an awesome offering and just a real nice overall function on the Oclip Pro. Single press now, off. And so whether you go with the Oclip or the Oclip Pro, both of these are extremely functional. You can see they operate a little bit different, and they each kind of in a way have their strengths and weaknesses. I mean, obviously a lot more strengths on the Oclip Pro, but the size of the standard Oclip is really small. Very nice and compact, and has the ability just to enhance your general daily life or even backpacking. I will probably carry this directly on the front of my pack and just keep it there and have this as a nice little floodlight out in front of me while I'm hiking. You could certainly do the exact same thing with the Oclip Pro. Both of these having that magnetic sort of clip on the back, but again, very functional in the ability just to attach these, which would be awesome. Again, you could just simply attach these to the side of a vehicle if you needed to. You could put them under the hood if you were working on your car. Just such a multitude of ways you can leverage these. Now, a couple of final details. There is a lanyard hole, which allows you to put a lanyard on here. I probably would never really do that. And the other thing I wanted to point out is on the clip itself, on the inside, everything is rubberized, which is really nice. So if you have things that are sensitive or potentially could scratch or just the ability to grab on and grab on well, having that rubber in there is just really nice and very functional. So I do have to say the overall design concept of these is awesome. And Olight executed these extremely well. And so again, I would like to say thank you very much to the people at Olight who did provide these for review. Take a look in the description box below where you can find all of the relevant links. And if you like this content, do me a favor. Take a look at my Outer Limitless 2 channel, which is more on the tactical and firearm side of things. At this point, that channel is growing quickly. I have a ton of videos up there. So if you like what you see here on Outer Limitless, do me a favor and check me out on Outer Limitless 2. So all right, guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.